Gators Breakdown? Join Gators Breakdown Plus. Starting at $3 a month, get access to unique episodes, plus a blog, chat room, giveaways, shout-outs, and more. Gators Breakdown Plus is furthering the interaction with fans and listeners like you. Head to gatorsbreakdown.supportingcast.fm to join Gators Breakdown Plus today. Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
Oh, look at there, surprise. Live streaming Gators Breakdown early in the morning, Tuesday, June 8th. But here we go. Going to try something new. A thought of the day. It may be every day, may not be every day, but I'm going to try and put them up as much as possible. I'm the host of Gators Breakdown, David Waters. You can find me on Twitter at GatorDave_SEC. But as I said, trying something new here. Going to give you guys even more content, especially here on YouTube. I am going to do a separate version for Gators Breakdown Plus members as well. So there'll be two thoughts of the day. One that lives on YouTube, one that lives on Gators Breakdown Plus, just trying to put more content out there. These will be quick hit videos. I do about at least an hour episode most of the time every week there. So these will be short episodes all throughout the day. So just trying to give you guys even more content and talk about what we discussed in past episodes. And look, I've been putting out there, getting questions from you guys as well. And probably instead of doing just a whole Q&A episode, probably just pick one question a day and just go over that question and, just give you guys good content, keep people coming back. And this thing can help Gators Breakdown grow even more. So going to keep doing it, going to try it at least and see how this goes. During the season it'd be a little easier and difficult at the same time. Do 3 episodes a week, of course, during the season. So I thought of the day kind of might get meshed into the episodes as well, but we'll see. As I said, just short, quick videos here. And that's just kind of going to be what we're going with. Remember, as I said, you can join Gators Breakdown Plus. You heard the promo before the episode. You can get another one there as well. But short, quick hit videos as we go along here. And the topic I wanted to hit on this time, and go ahead and leave comments if you want to in the comment section. I'll try and go back there, try and leave it for the topic that we're discussing so we can further the conversation a little bit there. But the one topic that I want to hit on, and I don't want to throw him under the bus here because he's not the only person I heard it from, but he left that comment here on YouTube, so I'm going to share the YouTube stuff of it. But Muddy Waters, no relation, I don't think, but Muddy Waters says, he goes, this whole weekend is a failure for recruiting. Not one commitment from all that talent visiting. Everyone will say they made strong impressions. Cool, now they'll visit other schools every other week and strengthen their relationships as well. Sick and tired of seeing Georgia, LSU, Bama get caught for recruiting violations and then just get a slap on the wrist. For goodness sake, pull out the bags of money and up your cheating efforts. So, wow, there we go. So I will say, along those lines at the end of it, yes, I want to see the admin want to, I don't necessarily want to call it just get dirty as the other schools, but we know what it takes. Yeah, there. So bags being thrown, all that stuff. Look, it happens in big time college football. It happens in Florida, it happens in Georgia, it happens in Bama, it happens everywhere. But now you just you got to look at it and figure out how to do it, not get caught there. So Ash A, I see Mullen's laziness has been failing at recruiting at the day he landed here. Look, we and I've said it over and over again. We had all those Mississippi State people come on the podcast, and they told us recruiting's not going to be probably where we want it to be, especially for the expectations we have for it and the expectations we saw in Urban Meyer and Will Muschamp and Ron Zook and being able to bring those big classes in. Look, some of them didn't translate, of course. As I said, recruiting at a high level doesn't guarantee success, but you can't win without it. There. But going back to the topic here on hand, he goes, this whole weekend as a failure is what Muddy Waters says. And look, I don't view it that way right now. I don't. I went into this weekend not expecting a whole lot of commits, and it's not because of Florida. It's because of the kids out there that are visiting. They haven't visited campuses in over a year. They're not going to be in a hurry. None of these kids are going to be in a hurry. I think Florida did about as good as anybody out there, did about as good as they could in getting initial impressions out there. That's what this was for. But these kids haven't taken visits in every year. They're going to go take these visits, and they want to be wined and dined. If you if you commit to a school right now, you go to your next visit, you're not getting wined and dined. They're going to overlook you. That kid's committed somewhere else. Now, the big kids, don't get me wrong. Look, and I'm talking big kids here. I'm talking the big time, highly rated, committed, uncommitted prospects out there that didn't commit. And I'm going to show you the list of the last few days. It wasn't a trend out there. This is, if you want to say this is a problem for Florida, okay, well, it's a problem for everybody except for Alabama and Ohio State, who got a commitment over these past few days. But nobody did. None of the top prospects in the country went on these big time visits and then came out of that committing to their schools. And I don't expect it. These kids want to take all the visits. And I can actually commend them for wanting to take their time and making sure they're getting and making the right decision. They're taking all these visits and they want to be wined and dined. And, I think the timeline here is these guys to take their visits over the next few weeks. I think July, the flurry is going to come heavy with commitments. Right before the season, the flurry is going to come where these guys are being committed, but they're going to take their visits because they missed this time last year. And now they're going to take all these visits and make a decision. I don't think they're in any hurry. I don't actually think they should be in any hurry. Most of the time, kids commit too fast anyway. But this coming up, this past cycle or this past weekend, I didn't expect it. I thought these kids would want to take their visits, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So let me look. Let me share this tab here and show you. It's not what happened. It's not just Florida. I mean, here we go. I hope you guys can see that. Let's see. There's the 24/7 commit list right there from the last few days. There's no big time prospects there. There's your first 3-star right there committing to Cal. But a lot of these guys are unranked players. Mississippi State would one, Colorado State, West Virginia, Colorado, Nebraska, Virginia, Maryland. Look, these are not big schools that got commitments that are. Look, there's the first big one out there. Caleb Brown, national 63rd ranked player in the country, committed to Ohio State. But Colorado, Texas with an unranked, long snapper there, Air Force, Illinois, Central Michigan, Maryland, Rutgers, NC State, Alabama there with a top 100 player, the 93rd ranked player, Le'Veon Moss. So I'm saying there was not a lot of big commitments. Mississippi State with a 4-star, 342nd ranked player, but that was all the way back last June 4th. So, guys, there's just not that many kids committing right now, and that's just the gist of it. That's what the trend is going to be right now coming out of the pandemic. So that's just the lay of the land right now. I'm not going to put it on Florida. I'm not going to throw it at their feet saying, hey, will we like to see commitments? Of course, absolutely. That's not my point. We absolutely would want to see commitments. It would be a spark this early in the recruiting process coming back from the pandemic, and say Walter Nolan did shut it down and commit, or Tyler Booker, the highly ranked offensive line, or a lot of these top 100 skill players that were on the visits. Would we like to see that? Absolutely. Could it have been a spark? Could the transition of recruiting happen a little bit? Yes, absolutely. It could have had a snowball reaction where other top guys come in, but we didn't see it all across the country. It's not a Florida problem. It's everybody else didn't get them either. We want to laud LSU and Georgia and all that. They didn't get commitments either out of this past weekend. And I think here and this probably happened. Florida got some silence. Alabama probably got some silence. Georgia got some silence commitments. All of them have to follow up on that and get those guys in. Now, I know, don't get me wrong, you look at the trend of what's happened, and Florida necessarily hasn't lived up to the expectation that we thought they would be or should be at recruiting. And you're looking at that saying, well, if you didn't get them this weekend, you're probably not going to get them. We'll see. We've talked recruiting ad nauseum and where it needs to be and how it needs to be if you want to consistently compete for championships. But I don't think this past weekend and not getting commitments is any indication of if it's going to happen, it's going to happen regardless of what happened this past weekend, in my opinion. I don't think even if you did get him commit, you got to hang on to him for a whole solid, 6 months, 7 months. So big time here. All right, let me get to some comments here before we sign off. Just like I said, these are going to keep these short and going on there. Gator Gang, just get rid of Knox, bring in elite recruiter. I'm telling you, Knox is not as big as a problem as you guys think he is. He's had some running backs lined up that Mullins just kind of overruled him on. Florida's got 5 running backs right now. Where are you putting those running backs that they had? Kind of what Florida has at running back right now was kind of the plan for the last couple of years. They pretty much knew they were going to go back into the transfer portal and get some of these guys. Once they had the inclination that they could get a Lorenzo Lingard, running back recruiting was kind of shut down. Once they got the inclination that they could get DeMarcus Bowman, running back recruiting was kind of shut down. Knox has had some guys lined up. He's been overruled on bringing them in. Am I giving him a complete pass? No, there's some things there, but it's not all him on why the running back recruiting, the numbers there haven't been great since 2018. The way it's kind of been going and the trend, look, there's 5 running backs right now. You could lose up to 4 from this year. All those guys from Lingard, Wright, Davis, Pierce. Well, 2 of those guys are leaving anyway because they've run out of eligibility. But everybody, Wright could leave. Lingard could leave. You're only left with Bowman. So you do have to get 2 guys this cycle. But I'm saying through the history, Greg Knox's time here at Florida, not all on him on why some of these running back numbers and commitments and recruits haven't been there. Not all on him. Tim Burrow says look at recruiting budget, lines up with school recruiting rankings. Yeah, we went over that a few weeks ago about, I think Florida is 12th in recruiting budget. That needs to be better. There, I will say probably some of that, but you're still being outspent by Florida State. But some of that is you're in the state of Florida, so travel costs aren't going to be outrageous. You can recruit in your backyard, but we see Florida recruiting Texas like crazy. So recruiting out of the state, but I do think you can save a little bit of money by staying in state there. So, all right. Patrick says we can't keep using the portals I go to. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. We've hit that, but college football world's changed. It's going to be part of it. I'm not so sure Florida's using it as their go-to. But if recruiting was better, you wouldn't have to hit it as much. Defensive tackle, Florida had to go find 2 defensive tackles for this coming up season just because recruiting and development hasn't necessarily been there, that defensive tackle position. You got Gervin Dexter. It's about the only cog that is known coming back from that position. Hopefully some of those younger guys, Lamar Goods, and players like that can come back. But we'll see how that goes. All right, that'll do it. Roger Wooden, I see new facilities make a difference in recruiting. I don't think so. I think it helps. I don't necessarily think it hurts. I mean, it doesn't hurt you, of course. I'm not so sure it actually helps all that much. But for a recruiter too, maybe. We'll see. But we can get into that conversation again later when we talk more recruiting. But this one's mostly going back and looking at, just don't be so upset about not getting some commits after this past weekend. As I just showed, nobody really did coming from this past weekend. So, all right, that'll do it for this start of the day. Everybody go listen to Gators Breakdown, recapping this recruiting weekend. Of course, all the good news there of at least observations and reviews coming out of those visits. And as I said, go join Gators Breakdown Plus. There'll be another thought of the day going up there. Guys, thanks for joining in for this first thought of the day, and we'll check you out. And hopefully you guys can check this out and be a part of this pretty much every day. So turn the notifications on, get the notification when this thing goes live, and we'll try and do it every day. So I'm David Waters. You can find me on Twitter at GatorDave_SEC, and we'll holler at you guys later.